had no idea all you folks were going to come today. I'm so happy that you're here. Thank you so much. This is so meaningful to have so much interest, not just in a plan, but in the future of our community. And, you know, there is a saying that a goal without a plan is just a wish. And that's true for any one of us, for our families, for our business, and for our community. And so we have big goals for Lincoln. We at City Hall are working in partnership with our community every day to lead Lincoln towards a more successful, secure, and shared future. And to co-create that future, we are now embarking upon a major update to our community's comprehensive plan. And that is for both Lincoln and Lancaster County. Every decade, we take the opportunity to look 30 years into the future and to develop a vision for how we want to grow, evolve, and enhance our community. We call it the comprehensive plan because it provides us and guides us in areas ranging from housing to land use and economic development to transportation, health, and sustainability. And Lincoln's high quality of life in 2020 is the direct result of previous generations who were working together to turn their future dreams and vision into the city that we enjoy today. The people of Lincoln can be proud of our tradition of thinking big and about what our future holds, and creating plans that reflect the diverse perspectives and experiences of our community. And each of us doing our part to make that plan and that brighter future a reality. Now it's our turn to envision Lincoln 2050 and set the goals and standards that will ensure we continue to thrive for decades to come. Population projections show that Lancaster County is expected to grow by 120,000 residents over the next 30 years, with 90% of that growth occurring in Lincoln. And to illustrate Lincoln's growth and progress, as well as the future, what the future may hold and look like, we have a brief video from our new comprehensive plan website. This is going to show you a little bit of the growth by decade. And what's also true about that video is that you're seeing the growth expand. That visual is easy, but we've also focused, of course, on growing internally, too, as we've undertaken many redevelopment and infill projects. So by the year 2050, we will likely have a more diverse community with new needs and expectations, new transportation options, and new housing solutions. We anticipate that Lincoln will become an even smarter and more connected city, and we also expect that our focus on resiliency and sustainability will continue to increase. And the theme of this comprehensive plan is Plan Forward. That's because this plan will not only look forward in time, but also forward in concept, with new and innovative ideas that will guide our community towards a more thriving, resilient, innovative, and livable future. A plan for our community needs to involve the people who call this capital city home. So today we are kicking off an extensive public engagement effort to hear from our residents. And again, I'm so pleased to have so many of you here, so many of you who are going to be giving your time and expertise and wisdom to this process. Our residents can learn more about this effort and get involved by going to the website lincoln.ne.gov keyword 2050. And by visiting that site, you can take a 10-question survey, ask questions, submit comments, and learn more about how this process will unfold in the coming months. You can also sign up on a mailing list to receive updated information about that process and advance notice of upcoming public meetings. We also have a fun kickoff event planned for Thursday, February 6th from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. at the Pinnacle Bank Arena. That kickoff open house format style meeting will include a brief presentation at 5:30 p.m. that will take a closer look at how some of these population predictions have been developed and how the plan will be developed in response to them. The event will feature interactive exhibits that invite us all to envision the future of Lincoln. The planning process will include public events throughout the years 2020 and 2021. A final draft of the comp plan is expected to go before the Planning Commission and the Lancaster County Board and the Lincoln City Council for approval in late 2021. We're going to take our time and get this right. City County Planning Director David Carey and his staff have already been working hard on the initial planning steps. Some of them are here today. Thank you so much for the work you've put into this, David, as well. And I'd love to hand it over to you for some comments.
Great. Thank you, Mayor. The Planning Department is prepared and excited to work on this major update of our comprehensive plan. A focus of this effort, as the Mayor was telling us, is engaging all the members of our community. To that end, the new website at planforward2050.com, as you see on the screen here, will be used to share information and to update the community about the process. The website includes a 10-question visioning survey that we want as many community members as possible to fill out. That those results will really help us define the direction of this plan. The website also includes a fun video that I invite all of you to go check out. It helps us look back 30 years to see what has changed since 1990. And it helps us begin to think forward 30 years to 2050 to consider what Lincoln and Lancaster County can be. I want to emphasize the first public meeting on February 6th at Pinnacle Bank Arena. That is going to be a very good kickoff publicly for our efforts. And we do have a community committee. Many of the members are here today, so I thank you all for coming. We will be meeting regularly with that community committee. It's comprised of our planning commission members as well as various stakeholders. I want to thank them all for their willingness to serve our community in this effort. We also have a very robust staff committee for many different departments and agencies, so many members of that committee are here as well today, so thank you for that. We are excited to kick off this effort today, and we are ready to begin to plan forward to 2050. So thank you for coming, and we are available to answer any questions that you may have.
Tell a little bit about the themes, the four themes, and why those are the important emphasis of this Plan Forward 20.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, as you can see up on the screen here, we have thriving, resilient, innovative, and livable. So the idea here is that in looking forward to 2050 and 30 years into the future, there are going to be a lot of changes. And we know that technology-wise, and the idea of being innovative as a community, that alone is going to be a very interesting part of this discussion. So we want to look forward and see what type of community we want to be in an innovative way. That could be in the economy and transportation, even in our resiliency aspect of things. Livable is a very consistent theme that we have in our planning efforts over many decades now, but that also has a future part to it as well. What do we want our neighborhoods to be in the future when we take into account a changing climate and things like that, but also with technology even in our neighborhoods. So that is going to be a dynamic discussion. Thriving really gets to the core of how we want to have all aspects of our community, all members of our community, to have a successful experience living in our community, in Lancaster County and in Lincoln. That gets into the economic development side of things, the ability to have, the types of jobs that we want to have here into the future as well. Innovative. Resilient. Resilient is the aspect of knowing and acknowledging that we have a changing environment. We have, just to look back just a few months with all the flooding that took place throughout our state. And then here locally, we had some tough days when we were worried about the safety of our water source up at the Ashland well fields. That was a big eye-opener to many of us, that we want to make sure that looking forward that things like the ability to survive events that seem to be happening more frequently. So that's one example of resiliency. We can also talk about a lot of different things, both on the economic side of things, as well as just physically within our community of how we want to make sure that we're able to do all the activities and be the type of community we want to be. So that's how the themes are going to be woven into this discussion.
I'll just add a little bit to that. I mean, we live in a time where people have a lot of options about where to live, a lot of choices, and are pretty mobile. And we want them here in Lincoln. We want our young people to stay, and we want to attract new people and new businesses to our community. And while I'd love to think that organically that will just happen, it helps to give it a boost. And that's what our comp plan is about. It's about trying to make us a more attractive, competitive, and vibrant city that will, put us on the map. Yes.
So for these plans, you say that they're updated every 10 years, is that right? Do they have a high rate of success are they sort of a moonshot type of deal, or how do you sort of like put that in perspective with reality?
Great question. So we do a major update every 10 years, and that's typically when we add years to the horizon years. So we're in this case going from 2040 to 2050. So those are the 10-year major updates. We actually update it every 5 years in a more defined way, which is we're not adding years to the horizon year, but we're making sure that it's accurate, and we're refreshing it with updated information. So that's kind of the schedule that we're on. But this is a 10-year cycle major update. I will confidently say that we have been very successful with our comprehensive plan and accurate with it. One specific example of that is our population projections, which really drives a lot of what we talk about. How much are we going to grow? What are the needs that come out of that growth? We have been very accurate with our population projections. The last time we did this was 10 years ago, and our population projections that we are using the same source of that information for these updated population projections, they're within just a few hundred individuals accurate to what we actually are experiencing in growth. So very confident in the accuracy in that end of things. And also, we actually are a community that really uses our comprehensive plan. We start with a robust process to include as many aspects of our community to develop that plan, and that gives it strength. And so that we feel confident that we're reflecting the vision and the ideas that come from the community. And because of that, we are implementing it very successfully. An example of that is on the transportation side, transportation will be a big part of this as well. We start with a list of projects, whether it's for our StarTran public bus service, our pedestrian plans, our bicycle plans, and the street network plans, and the rehabilitation of the streets. We have consistently done the projects and the programs that we said we were going to do. So when we look at it every 5 years, we are able to check off those boxes, and we feel good about that.
That's one of the things that's so exciting about the comprehensive plan. I mean, having been in that room 10 years ago as a planning commissioner, volunteer, listening to people who are experts in demographics come and tell us about trends to expect and how that affects how we should plan for housing, we've made attempts to try and create more housing that fits the predicted growth in our senior population and our young professional population. And we've achieved some of those numbers already that we put on those maps with little Post-it notes, 8,000 infill in the core of the community. We looked at transportation challenges in our city, maps of squiggly red lines where we expect congestion to grow, and transportation experts spoke to us 10 years ago, and that informed our Green Light Lincoln initiative, which has worked to reduce congestion, improve air quality, and make that morning commute more enjoyable for people. The plans matter. They are not rigid. They're flexible and they're a guide, but they're really important for providing an insight into how we invest limited resources wisely and efficiently, and how we provide predictability for those who want to make investments in our community, whether that's buying a home or developing apartments. It is so important to have good community kind of understanding of the direction for the future, recognizing that that direction always can evolve.
What are some of the interactive exhibits that you guys are planning on having at this kickoff at the Pinnacle Bank Arena?
So in an effort to be fun and to make it engaging, we're trying to think a little bit more outside the box instead of the typical open house setup. We do want to be serious to the point of sharing the right information so we can get people thinking about things. But as part of that is to get them, to do some things while they're there. So one idea that we have is we have some themes that we've been collecting in talking with a lot of different groups as well as different members of different departments and agencies up to this point. And so we have some ideas that we want to see if people are interested in these ideas or not. So we're going to create some physical things that allow people to put some chips into a container and see how many chips certain topics get. That's a way in order to kind of get them into the conversation and physically do something. So we're excited about that. We think that'll be fun. We're also going to do some typical but still interactive kind of Post-it note type of ideas and just get people to put down what they're thinking. And then we'll kind of do kind of that word cloud type of work after that to see what really came to the top of that. Those are just a couple of examples, and I think it'd be fun just to be in Pinnacle Bank Arena. It's a symbol and a physical example of what good planning has resulted in, that and the West Haymarket development over the last several years. That started with an idea more than 10 years ago. coming out of our downtown master plan effort at that point. And so it's a great example of what can happen if we get our minds together, we get good input, and we really start to implement those ideas. So all of that and the whole event will be very exciting, I think.
Any other questions?
David, do you want to run the whole video? Has this group seen it?
I don't think anybody in this room other than the staff has seen this.
I'm not entirely sure the audio will be very loud.
We can try it. Do we have audio?
It's about,
We'll see.
no.
Not much.
I think what we can do is we can certainly have it run here and get an idea of what it's like, but the audio kind of makes the video, actually. We would want everybody to go check out plan42050.com and really check this out and really see it. It is fun, and it gets you thinking about where were you in 1990. The best part about this is that so many people that we talk to now weren't even alive or very little in 1990, so puts that in perspective, too.
And is this live? Can we share this?
Yes.
You've got mail.
Hypercolor clothing changes color with heat.
It's easy to squeeze your way to shapely hips and thighs.
Schlesinger has another touchdown.
That'll do it. Nebraska has won the national championship.
I've declared a general state of emergency.
3, 2, 1, happy 2000! Play ball!
I didn't know what Facebook was. It sounds like a huge waste of time.
Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
Where the deer and the antelope play.
Maybe you can drive my car.
Bicycle, bicycle, bicycle.
A lot has happened over the last 30 years. What's in store for the next 30? By 2050, there will be over 100,000 new residents in Lancaster County, with the majority of those in Lincoln. A more diverse population with new needs and wants, a changing climate that will require a more resilient and sustainable community, new transportation options, new housing solutions, smarter connected cities, and who knows, maybe there will be flying cars or self-aware robots. All these things are possible, so how do we ensure that Lincoln and Lancaster County have the best future? Plan Forward is the theme for the Lincoln-Lancaster County 2050 Comprehensive Plan. The comprehensive plan establishes the community vision. What do we want for Lincoln and Lancaster County over the next 30 years? And provides a roadmap for achieving that vision in topics such as land use, economy, housing, transportation, health, and sustainability. Plan Forward will be a forward-thinking document to guide the community to a thriving, resilient, innovative, and livable future. At the same time, we'll be updating our long-range transportation plan to provide a detailed analysis of the community's transportation needs. This plan is a community effort, and we need your help. Visit planforward2050.com to take the visioning survey, learn more about the comprehensive plan, and sign up for the mailing list. Our first open house is in February, so be sure to check the website for more information.
David's living our value of freeing the fun. Thank you to the whole planning department for that. It's really great.
That was a production of our LMK TV.
Thank you, crew. All right. And thank you again to our planning commissioners who spend a lot of hours in those chambers volunteering your time and who will be a backbone of this process. We really appreciate your service, and to all the folks who've signed up to be a part of this, thank you. It means a lot. All right, thank you.
Thank you.